All right. Hello. Welcome back to the Paragon Performance Podcast, everybody. I'm your host, Rob from Paragon. And today I'm joined with not one, but two very special guests. I've got here to my right Michael and Steven, the proud new owners of two brand new ZR1s, which they were kind enough to let us borrow and have in our shop for research and development. Thank you guys for taking the time and coming on the podcast with us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. So can you guys just kind of give a quick introduction for those that, don't know you or, that kind of thing?
My name is Steven. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, soon to be South Carolina. Obviously, a Corvette fan.
Yep.
I've been working with Paragon for 2 or 3 years now, since my first, Stingray really, in '06. It's kind of an interesting story of how I met you all, but married with a wife and one kid, and was in the wireless phone industry for a number of years. Now I'm kind of quasi-retired, looking for next gig, if you will. Sorry about it, Rob.
Sweet. And then Michael, how about yourself?
Yep. Michael Sorby, been a customer, known Corey, I think just like a month after he started here. Yeah, I've done a number of builds with you guys, probably most famously with my parents there and surprising them. You guys were first class in taking care of us and making that a real special and core memory for my family. Been awesome to share this week with Steven there and getting our cars built together and delivered together and being able to share all this with you guys is pretty cool. Yeah, my background, I worked on the PGA Tour for a little over a decade there at university and kind of reinvented myself. I've been designing swim backyards for about a little over 10 years now. And I have a very patient wife with my Corvette addiction.
You need one of them,
Yeah,
right?
Christy. And we don't have kids, but we have two little fur babies. And obviously, we're real close with my mom and dad as well. And we live in Florida, then in the southwest Fort Myers, Naples area.
Okay. All righty. Well, so like you said, you both have had a couple Corvettes. Why Corvettes? What drew you to those?
I mean, for me, I think it's the best value, one. Two, it's American made. I grew up, my father was a mechanic. He used to build race cars, midgets, dirt track cars, things like that back in
Okay.
the day, as well as street cars. Did regular automotive as well. Had his own shop for a period of time and worked for somebody else. So I grew up around cars, American made cars.
Hmm.
Didn't grow up with a lot of money. Really couldn't, afford anything else. So value is obviously important to me,
Yep.
cost and things like that, but also performance. For me, I think you get all that out of a Corvette. Certainly, there's a lot of great cars out there, but every car drives you from point A to point B, right?
Yeah. Yeah. To
I've
some
driven,
extent. Yep. They
yeah,
all do the same thing.
exactly. And I've driven and owned a lot of cars, different types of cars. But for me, I come back to Corvette and just how comfortable they are. Daily drive them if you want. You can build them up and take them to the drag strip. Um, Driven McLarens and things, really race car-ish, which is great. But I live in New England. The roads aren't all that great for it's where I'm born and raised, and the winters are harsh, and potholes and stuff are just a thing. And Corvette kind of handles all of it. So for me, it's the performance, the value, the American made. You guys, it's
Hmm.
hard to find a shop that you can know and trust and have this type of relationship with, and
Yeah.
that's a factor. When I look at other cars, I think to myself, what do I want to do with this car?
Hmm.
How am I going to use it? I like to make car my own, which I
Hmm.
think is the beauty of cars, is that people are able to make and express themselves through the car. Manufacturer makes a car a certain way and one way, and that's great, but customize it yourself. So that's a factor for me with being able to work with you guys on the Corvettes. So it's, for me, it's all that.
Yeah. Yeah. And so Michael, how about yourself? Why Corvette brand?
I mean, a lot of the same sentiment. I think certainly, even though I'm Canadian originally, American made,
Hmm.
I think we can do anything as good as anybody else, maybe even better. The value proposition has always been great. I mean, they've gotten expensive, but compared to what the competition is, it's all relative. And certainly the C8's been taken to another level. Certainly our platform here, ZR1.
Yep.
Um, and I don't know. The other cars are great. I love admiring a Ferrari and a McLaren, a Lamborghini, but for some reason, they just don't excite me as much, as the Corvette and the community and working with, Paragon and, making friends and, being simpatico, so to speak, with the people that like the brand as well, I think plays a lot part into the culture that you're comfortable with who you're hanging out with and spending time with. But yeah, just since I was a little kid and I had little micro machines there on the mantle of the fireplace, it was
Right.
always a bunch of Corvettes,
Yeah.
So yeah, just always loved the brand, owned a lot of them, obviously. But and like Steven's point, that's one reason we're here is obviously the modding and making them your own and
Yep.
thinking about that game plan of that. I got that final vision in my head and seeing it come to fruition is always very cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So I do want to touch on the ZR1s here in a second, but first, obviously, both of you guys have had some previous Corvettes. I just want to kind of, for those that might not know, if you guys could just kind of go through some of the Corvettes that you've had in the past.
Sure. I haven't had quite as many as Michael. Early on in my life, I was, to be honest with you, a Ford Mustang guy.
Okay.
And it really goes back to price, right?
Yep.
I think I had 20 something Mustangs by the time I was 25 years old because we used to tear them up,
Yep.
build them, and put nitrous on them and all those types of things. And they were relatively affordable. Used to think 225 horsepower was fantastic.
Yeah.
You built it to 400, you thought you were the best thing ever. And but they were a stick and a 5-speed, and I grew up driving those. So haven't had quite that many Corvettes. I had a C5, a C6. Never had a C7. Wish I still had the C6, C06. That was a fantastic torch red, of course, right?
Yep. Yep.
Stick car. That's one that I might buy back someday somewhere. But,
Okay.
and then moved into the C8. So like I said, never had a C7. Didn't really modify the Corvettes, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Had them during the time in my life I was working 100 hours a week,
Yep.
running and building my own business and things like that. And so would enjoy them when I could. You know me, I kind of like to look at them too. Some of
Yes.
them.
Yes. Yep.
I get a hard time for it sometimes, but it's like, people collect different things and I don't mind collecting some cars. So,
Yeah.
and then moved straight into the C8. Bought the new C8 right when it came out, Rapid Blue, and just amazed at how much car you got for the money.
Yeah.
And so that didn't last long because the Z06 came out right behind it. And,
Yep.
so obviously we moved into the black convertible Z06
Yes.
that you guys built here,
Yeah. Yep.
obviously displayed and things like that. So that was the first Z06. And then have the E-Ray. I'll have the 70th anniversary that I keep. That's more of a collector's car.
Yep.
And then moved into the E-Ray, which some of your viewers are probably familiar with.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
It's traveled an interesting road in a year and a half.
Yes.
Being supercharged to twin turbo now.
Yep.
The goal is to finish that car off and line the two of them up, the ZR1 and the E-Ray, and see who wins.
See which one. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so now, obviously, onto the ZR1, and I keep the train rolling with whatever Chevy comes out with next. But right now, we're gonna enjoy the ZR1. That's my Corvette history.
Yeah, no, that's pretty cool. Like you said, I think that's one of the coolest things I've noticed from the last couple of years working here is just, how cool it is that it'll bring, two completely random people together just because of a car, like that's just fascinating to me. I think that's
I
really
didn't know
cool.
Michael before, the Corvettes and from you guys and things like that. And now, I mean, honestly, there's hardly a day I don't shoot him some sort of message, to be honest with you, whether it's through text or Instagram, right? Just a quick thing. It's just nice having a guy that's like-minded and,
Yep.
but does think differently about some things and bounce things off of him, whether it's life or business or cars or whatnot. And
Yeah.
a ton of respect for him and his family and things. So it's, really nice to meet people like that through the Corvette community.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, Michael, how about it's a long one, but your history of
Yeah. Well, I
Corvettes.
mean, just touching on that point though, I mean, the car, as I've said all week, is like an instrument to create this, and the friendships and the ability to hang out and talk shop and just have a great time with one another. I mean, that's sometimes better than, well, it is better than the car.
Mhm.
It's easy to overlook that. This material purchase, does a lot more than the physical being of the car there. But
Yeah.
I've had a few of them. I think I've had every generation, but
You know how many a few is, right?
Yeah.
A few is a small handful.
a few times
A
seven.
dozen is a dozen, and a couple of dozen is.
Yeah, we're in
This is 21?
21.
Okay,
21, yeah,
all right. So
21.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
just a few, right?
Every
Okay.
generation, but one and two.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I did a resto mod on a C3, and that was about the only one my wife said, you got to get rid of that because carburetor, it started to stink up the house, when you pulled in the garage,
Yeah.
but side pipes, all that good stuff. But
Oh,
yeah, my first Corvette was a 98 Torch Red C5 Coupe.
okay.
And then I mean, it just seemed like I progressed from there. I learned how to drive a manual basically in a semi truck when I had to drive a truck as part of my job on the tour. And as soon as I learned that, I was like, well, I'll get rid of this automatic 98 and get into a Z06 with the manual.
Yeah.
And we had one for a wedding. We drove off and just gone from there. One of my favorites, though, was probably um, C7 Z06 that I had Callaway, their package on. That was one of my favorites. And
Okay.
But the C8 Z06 and now the ZR1 have been my all-time favorites. I just think there's
Another level, right?
yeah, another level. I mean, like you said earlier, the way they drive when you're just going down the road, you think you're in a four-door sedan,
Yep.
and you got this monster of an engine literally sitting right behind your seat. So it's very cool to have the car do so much so well. I think they look great. Just the customization of them takes them to another level.
Yeah. Yeah. And like you touched earlier, you said with your parents, so you had the yellow Z06 for yourself, and then you bought your parents the yellow Stingrays.
Yeah,
We just had that beautiful white one that you had in here that
yeah,
looks
yeah.
looks similar to the one that we've got back in here.
Right.
And
How long
yeah.
was it here?
A while.
It was
Was it
here
a while?
longer than I actually physically owned
This
it.
is where I was going. You knew where I was going, didn't you?
Yeah.
How long was it here? Well, how long did you own it?
Yeah, I think I owned it for about 5+ months, and I was here for about 4 of those.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. So
It had a good home.
it did. It was well taken care of, and part of that was the blessing of the ZR1 kind of really fell in my lap.
Okay.
Obviously, we know they're extremely difficult to get.
Yes.
I wasn't going to pay some exorbitant amount over like I'm have to. So that played into I was getting rid of the Z06. I'm keeping the Z06, and that kind of extended its time here at Paragon.
Yeah.
You're not
yeah.
alone. I think I had one on the floor there for maybe a year.
Well, like Corey said, since he's been here, ours, yours,
Yeah.
or one of this other client, there's
Yep.
one of our cars here literally at all times.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got an eviction notice, I
Yeah.
think. It came in the mail certified.
Yeah. We're going to start paying a storage fee.
Right.
Exactly.
Oh man, no, we love having your guys' cars here, and the ZR1s are no exception. They're just beautiful cars. We've had them the last 2 or 3 days, and I want to go back to when you first got them. You guys did museum delivery with them. It's kind of cool. You both got them at the same time, both right by each other on the floor. Can you kind of walk me through the experience of picking them up, and then before that ordering them, and like you said, getting the allocations and that sort of thing with
Yeah,
this
for
car?
sure. I mean, unfortunately, it's kind of a game to get one of these cars. At least for me, I do have some relationships, dealer relationships. A good friend of mine owns a dealership up in Connecticut. Unfortunately for me, it's a mid-sized dealer, and he doesn't do a ton of Corvettes, so
Okay.
he does get allocations, but early allocations. So, spoken with Michael about wanting one, and Michael wanted one as well. And Michael's good friends with Mr. Conti,
Yep. Yep.
well, obviously, and
Yes.
Rick made a lot of efforts to try and get me one as well. And during that time, I was making some phone calls as well, just because Rick can only do what Rick can do, right?
Yep. Yep.
Great guy, and so this time I wasn't able to get it from Rick. Maybe next time, but it worked out tremendously because Michael was able to get one through Rick, and I was able to get one from Covert Chevy, Texas. Dealt with the Jay. Fantastic experience, to be honest. Very, very fair and price, in my opinion. So got the car ordered. Always want to do museum delivery just because I like the experience. Guys typically come to the last few.
Yes.
Fantastic as well.
Yep.
And this time was certainly extra special because Michael and I were able to get our cars at the same time with the help of you guys, some other friends that we've made at the plant and places like that are very accommodating. So we're able to get the cars together. They're VIN 31 and 32.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool. We ended up with one low wing, one high wing, which is great.
Yep.
And so that day, honestly, it was kind of a blur, to be honent with you. It went by so quick,
It did.
right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
By the time we trailed it up from Georgia and got to the museum and that, it just seems like it went by in a flash. But, the museum is, in my opinion, the best way to receive a
Yep.
for me, they do trailer it over there, but it's not the same as it going across country. multiple Corvettes on it. Cars are getting moved around to get other cars off and going to multiple dealerships. And just a lot that can happen during that, and certainly getting it when Texas out for me in ways. It was great walking in and seeing them right there,
Yeah.
back to back with each other. And
Yep.
This time you got to see it on the camera.
yeah, that's right. That's right. I've done museum delivery a few times, and every time I just don't. I get the morning usually,
Yeah.
for whatever reason, and don't. It's the first time I've been able to see it on the camera beforehand. So I must admit I spent a little bit of time the day before watching the cameras.
People watching.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had free time in my iPad and was just kind of checking it out. It was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Just a fantastic experience all the way around.
Yeah, absolutely. Michael, how about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, like Steven, we were kind of in the same boat there, kind of working with Rick and communicating and, obviously doing our best to be able to try to get one of these cars. And the way it worked out, really couldn't have drawn it up better. And like you said, through some of those connections, through you guys, through Corey, it's amazing how a simple conversation at a restaurant can lead to a lot of really good things. And so to be able to get them built together on the lane there at the museum together, and then for you guys to come and Rick, like he's always does a great job with all his clients there, of making sure he's there physically and giving us a send off pat. And and then to be able to drive them here, we were going to trailer them, which we did a little bit, but we got our braking miles in because we wanted to be the first to get them on the dyno and show the world what this car can really do. So it's really been cool. I would say, gosh, it's here, so 4+ months of this journey to get to this point is pretty incredible.
Yeah. And so speaking of that, I wanted to touch on that at some point, and we can do that now. But the dyno stuff, obviously we did the live stream the other day. I know we were racing home trying to get those miles on it, to be the world's first to dyno one of these and see what it makes. And that was a really fun day preparing for the live stream. What were your guys' thoughts on those dyno numbers over 1,000 horsepower to the wheels?
Yeah, well, going back to the braking miles real quick. I had to drive the truck and the trailer. My nephew was nice enough to come with me for the week, and so he got to break the car in, really. I drove it for maybe 20 miles or so, to be honest with you. And so that was great. My nephew got to drive it for the 500 miles, and I knew we were done when Michael went zooming by me.
I did.
I rolled out the window. And I go,
I had to make a quick trip to Mexico.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I was doing 40. He was doing 65.
Yes.
But so I knew everything was broken in at that point and ready to go. But the dyno, fortunately, I had a couple of cars on your dyno, and the experience.
I was going to ask, have you had the opportunity to break in a C8 Corvette? Because I know I did on the dyno in the black Z06.
Actually, that's right. You did.
I was going to say,
my white car has 14 miles, so I didn't break that one in. And actually, Rob, I never thought about this. It's an interesting discussion because my E-Ray was broken in by Corey.
Yes,
because he picked
on the
it up
way
in
back.
Kansas.
Yes.
So I have not broken in a C8 now that you asked me that question. I actually have not. You're right.
Okay.
4 or 5 of them, I guess.
You got people to do that stuff for
it's
you.
kind of weird.
Right.
Like, it's kind of boring, right?
Yeah.
So I guess that's maybe a good thing.
I would say I had an awesome view for 500 miles of that gorgeous ETK wing.
Yeah. Obnoxious.
No, I was.
And so, I mean, just, obviously the goal was to get here and the excitement, the enthusiasm, like a little kid, right? Like, what are they going to do on the dyno? What are they going to do on the dyno? And you guys have such a great facility all the way around. And certainly the dyno room is second to none. I think that's important for people to understand. All dynos are not the same, right?
Mm-hmm.
All cars are not the same. Certainly the environment's different. The type of dyno is different. Dyno is nothing, right, for each individual car, really. And even that can be hard based on weather and that, but to see your own car go on a dyno for me is kind of cool, just being a car guy, right? And so I think we all had some guesses and things like that on what they would put down, and I think most of us were low.
Yeah, we were all.
I think everybody was.
We were all on. So, Pat was the closest at 999.
Yeah,
is his guess.
Yeah. The triple digits was, I think, a shock to most of us, quite frankly. I mean, you look at what Chevy says, 4 and 8, and ballpark math, I guess, which is debatable on how that works. And so, see it on the dyno and rip off 1,000+ was definitely exciting. That's for sure. And then to back them up, to validate right, for both cars to do. It wasn't just
Yes.
one car. It wasn't
No,
just
yeah,
one
both
run.
both
It
did
was
it.
multiple runs with two different cars on different days as well. So I think, Chevy underestimated or purposely did to make sure that us car enthusiasts got our money.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
What about you? What were your
Well,
thoughts on
like you
that?
said, I mean, Corey today had a funny post there. Just, there's always kind of the haters out there, and they're like, well, what are the SAE? Like, still 4 digits.
Yeah, yeah,
No matter which way you slice it, this
yeah,
car is a monster, and it makes a lot of power, more than certainly I thought. So yeah, you're already happy with your purchase, and now you're taking it to another level there, and so I'm looking forward to. I don't think I'll road race this course like some of my other cars, but certainly doing some half mile or full mile events,
yeah,
top speed events. I think it'll be a lot of fun, a little safer.
yeah, yeah.
But getting to see your car, both of them, like today was Road and Track and Motor One and Brian Mello and all these, different magazines and influencers there. To not only see your own car and our cars, but to see you guys and the name out there. I mean, that's probably as much as anything to me. Help support you guys and grow the brand, and it's pretty cool that you get to play a part in it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, no, we appreciate it, and we'll touch on that later. But yeah, no, we do appreciate it. Speaking of the two cars, obviously you guys have two different specs. Can you just kind of walk me through the specs that you went with, maybe ones you were debating on going with, and what you ended up with that are in our shop here right now?
Yeah, definitely. For me, I have an E-Ray already, a convertible.
Hmm.
Living in the South is fantastic. Obviously, you guys, along with Lingenfelter, have built that car, and it's kind of a monster at this point, which is great,
Yes.
which is fun.
Yep.
And so for me, I wanted a coupe. Definitely, the split window was an absolute must.
Yep.
And I debated on the color, but I knew I wanted a habanero interior, so I went with the habanero interior.
Okay.
And so once I was hooked on that, it was okay. Well, what kind of colors match with habanero interior? So kind of being a supercar, some say a hypercar. No need to get into that. I don't know what the definitions of those are. Right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I don't buy my cars.
Those
for
are
those
non-Corvette
reasons.
fans.
Yeah,
I like to say that. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, but being that type of a spec, right, and certainly I was fortunate enough. That's an interesting story, but I was fortunate enough to get a ZK car, and so I kind of felt like I wanted it exotic looking in some ways, at least.
Yep.
And so I went with a Hysteria purple and went with a coupe. Obviously, got the obnoxious high wing. That
Yep. Yep.
I was fortunate to see Corey's car in the Hysteria,
Yep.
and a lot of time on the phone with Michael. Michael's a designer, so he's got a great eye for
Yep.
this looks good with this or that and things like that. And so we talked to each other, off the ledge multiple times on this, that, and the other thing. Some things sound creative and great. It's like, I don't know about
Maybe
that.
not.
Right?
Right.
And so it's a loaded, 3LZ car, competition seats,
Yeah,
habanero
yep.
interior, ZTK, Hysteria purple with everything you can get. I mean, I'm not shy. It was $255 for a sticker.
Okay.
Carbon fiber wheels weren't available. I'm not sure if I would have
Would have done them.
bought them or not. To be
Okay.
honest with you,
Yep.
bought them on my other cars and typically take the wheels off anyway. And it's kind of an expensive thing to take off and leave off
And
the side.
the hub difference.
Yeah.
Too, so,
Yep.
Yeah, and in the past you have a hub difference, so now you're locked into a carbon fiber wheel only.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
maybe on this car, because of I'll probably keep it long term. I might have gotten them just for that reason, but they weren't available, so it didn't matter. So
Yep.
went with the standard wheels, and you
Yeah.
guys are working with us to replace them.
So I
So
guess say we're
very happy
you're
with
a
the
big
build,
wheel
though.
guy. Yeah. Yeah. It's
very
gorgeous.
very happy with the decision.
Yep.
In today's world, you can clear PPF them, you can color PPF them.
Yep.
I've got a few ideas to make it a little bit unique. We'll see. Color's growing on me every day, but every car looks good in your shop with your lights and stuff too. So
Yeah.
we'll see how they are outside.
Yeah.
Happy
Absolutely.
with the build so far for sure.
Yeah. No, it's gorgeous. And Michael, how about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I drive my family nuts. Maybe not Steven, because we're bouncing off all these ideas off each other. But I think my original build was Rapid Blue, because I felt like this was before it was announced it was going away, that it probably was, and my favorite color. I love the tension blue interior.
Yeah. Yep.
But then I thought, well, I had that on a Stingray convertible, so maybe mix it up. And so I kind of switched to kind of similar to Steven's build, but in black.
Okay.
With the orange habanero interior, orange calipers, and then they kind of have that carbon flash stripe, which is almost like a ghost stripe on black, but with the orange kind of pinstripe effect.
Oh yeah.
So I thought that was kind of exotic. That was kind of the same idea kind of make it a little louder.
Yep.
Um, I'd say I give my credit to my mom. She knows me. Obviously, I've gone through a lot of these cars, but she was like, you're probably gonna just in a few months say it's awesome, but you know, not
Time
the
to go.
long-term combination you want. So I usually go back to white.
Okay.
It's still pops, but it's just a little cleaner and
Yeah.
again those blue accents. And I kind of wanted to play into that 01 heritage that they use blue all the time for emblems or engine cover, those kind of things. So went with that, and it worked out great too, just by chance that his allocation was a high wing, which is what Steven wanted, and I didn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to track the car, and
Yep.
I do like the angle of the high wing from certain angles, but
Yep.
others I like the cleaner look.
Yeah.
So that worked nice. But did the split window in the color to really accent that feature. Um, Blue stitch on the inside, blue calipers, level 2 carbon mirrors. GM was already giving you pretty much everything in carbon, so why not add to that?
Yep.
Um, and stuck with the standard wheels. I like this. I like silver wheels to begin with. Did a couple of accents though with the Jake Skull center caps because there's obviously black and that surround with black lug nuts to kind of give the spokes a little more definition, a little contrast in the middle of the wheel.
So what are some of the things that you're looking forward to doing this? I know you kind of touched on it, if you still have it, bringing it to the NCM bash, but what are some of the things that you're most looking forward to doing with these
That was a
cars?
subtle jab.
Yeah. For me, I spent the last 15 years in, like upstate New York, Adirondack region, different things like that. There's a lot of cool mountain roads. Tail of the Dragon isn't all that far away from me. So although I won't take it to the track, I'm looking forward to doing some spirited street driving. The bash with you guys is always a fantastic annual event. We just had it, obviously, so that's about a year away. Corvettes of Carlisle's coming up,
Yep.
so I might potentially make a trip up north, New York, and stop at Corvettes of Carlisle for a day or two along the way, things like that. So I'm gonna go to the drag strip with it. We've got a date already lined up and
Yep.
a track on hold for us.
Yep.
Weather doesn't look all that good, so I'm not
Some
sure that's
weather
gonna
and some
happen. Yeah,
weather.
right. Fingers are crossed. So
Yeah.
hopefully we can make that happen. And the other thing I'm really looking forward to is running it against my twin turbo E-Ray. I want to see how the all-wheel drive in a twin turbo E-Ray does against the infamous CR1 now.
Yeah.
Equal or similar numbers in terms of real wheel horsepower. Obviously, the E-Ray has the electric. So I'm definitely looking forward to doing that. That's a
Yeah, absolutely. How about yourself?
In terms of building the car and kind of what I'm thinking of doing.
Yeah,
with it,
yeah,
or-
just a little bit of everything, whatever events.
yeah. I
build
mean,
it.
definitely, like I said, the bash before.
Yep.
And, I'd like to take it to. There's a show there where we live in Florida. There on one of the beach islands there, which is kind of cool. There's just a nice atmosphere, especially even Christy will come to that because you can get away from the car show and do some shopping and go by the beach and have a nice dinner um, and then maybe at some point it'll make its way back here. Whether it's driving up or get it here, and then we do some different events with it. So, but yeah, so that's the plan to enjoy it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's by the time it could be worth something, I'll be an old man. So you might as well enjoy it in the meantime.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
And
like
I
I
think
said,
Michael and I are similar in this way is that the journey really started 4 months ago, right? Like it's,
yes.
don't get me wrong, you obviously get the car, you get to drive it and experience it, but it's the whole experience for both of us, right? It's, believe it or not, it's going through the process of having to find one and negotiate it, and then
Yeah.
once you do, the wait for it and the suspense that goes along with it, and
Yep.
driving you guys nuts during that time period. You're probably just like, get these cars already, please, because
Yep,
the
yep.
ideas they have are just crazy.
Right.
And so it's the whole experience of it. I mean, obviously, Michael's an architect, right? And
Hmm.
they design and build things. I love to design and build things, or whether it's a business from scratch or different things like that. My cars are the same way to me. So, you know, it's going to sound crazy, but after I've driven them for a while and gone through that whole process, it's like, okay, what's next? Right. And that's probably why we've been through multiple cars over the years, because that process does come to an end in some way, shape, or form, right? You're just down, and it's, again, it sounds crazy, but you're just down to driving the car.
Yeah. Yep.
Everything else, you've been to all the shows, you've built the car, you've seen it, made it yours.
Mhm.
And so now what?
Yeah. I mean, it sounds, I don't want it to come across egotistical because that's not what I mean by it, but think of an artist and they paint their beautiful painting. Well, they don't keep painting on top of it. They had a vision for it. They came to fruition, and they said, "That's it. If I make one more stroke, I might go the other way with it." So what do? They start another painting, and
Yep.
I'm not saying we're artists by any means. That's
Yeah,
not
no,
kind
I
of
can't draw a
Mi-
stick figure.
Michael's got a lot of Mona Lisas.
He
Yeah.
could probably draw. I cannot.
that's why I preface that before,
Yep.
but it's just the analogy of, I agree, and the evidence is how many cars we've had is that, you get to that point and the painting's done, and okay, what can I do next? And then, like we talked about already multiple times, the friendships and that experience too is just as exciting as sometimes the car. And some folks will say, well, you didn't get to, maybe enjoy the car as much. It's like the next car will be driven and enjoyed and provide a different experience than the other one did. So,
Yeah.
I could slow down. There's no doubt I could slow down with how many cars.
Yeah.
And as I get a little older, I think that has happened a little bit. But
Mhm.
yeah, it's definitely more sometimes than just the car. And it's the highs and lows, like getting to this point, like anything in life, if it was just easy, right? I mean, the analogy all the time, if somebody put cake in front of you every single night, you'd probably go, it's not special anymore. And I'm tired of cake, right? So having like not getting one, I am getting one. Our orders got to 3,000 status for the first time ever. They got
Yeah,
taken
exactly.
away from us.
Yes.
Are
Yep.
they going to give it to somebody else? Are we not going to get them? That was all obviously frustrating, even though it's a first world problem here talking about a sports car. But it made this payoff that much more special and meaningful that we kind of go through.
Luckily, you can keep coming out. Chevy keeps coming out with a new model every year almost. So it's kind
Yeah,
of like
yeah.
they're feeding the flame, the
Yeah.
fire on us, unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know.
Right.
So,
Right.
especially with the C8 lately. And I mean, we didn't even take delivery of our cars, and they're like, oh, there's a ZR1X, right?
Yeah.
And we're like, what the,
Yeah.
okay.
Then everybody's like, "Well, are you unhappy? They got the bell
Oh,
one
yeah,
coming
no.
out." I'm like, "It's not better. It's just different." I
No
mean,
way. I'm thrilled.
yeah. I mean, you have an owner of a Stingray. They might not see the ZR1 as better, and they're not wrong.
No.
It's just
Yeah.
everybody has
Everyone's preference of
everybody's
what
preference.
they enjoy,
And
what they're using it
absolutely,
for. Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, my family knows this. I think even my fellow cohorts at work know that I don't buy cars because it's a fancy car. I mean, it's nice when somebody at the gas station comes up to you and
Yep.
makes your ego feel good and say, "Hey, nice car, thumbs up." I mean, I'll admit that feels good, but that's not why I do it.
Yeah.
I look at them as pieces of art, and to get to have one in your possession is a true blessing. And there's always something to look forward to. But it's like if I was only looking forward to the next model completely, I wouldn't even have one, right? I'd be like, well, maybe we're coming out something better than the ZR1 if you want to phrase it as better.
Yeah.
Well, I won't buy a ZR1, and then the new one's coming out. Well, maybe they're going to come out with the one after that, and before you know it, you're empty-handed. So you got to enjoy the opportunity given, and not always worry that something better on paper. And most, I think, the folks that say that aren't the ones that actually have the car to begin with. So you
Yep.
got to really experience them to know that there's nothing better. It's does it suit your needs, and everybody has a different opinion of that.
Well,
Yeah.
life's not guaranteed.
Yes. Yeah.
absolutely.
Whether
You could die
be
tomorrow.
6 months, 9 months, a year out from the next car or whatnot.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but
Yep.
be here or won't be. I
Yep.
mean, life is so live for
No.
today in some ways, plan for tomorrow,
Yep.
enjoy the things you have,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely. I kind of found myself in the kind of that same boat with like camera gear, a couple of years back, just trying to find what was the next camera. The one I had was kind of outdated, and I'm busy looking, and I'm like, gosh, this is a lot of money. And then, start researching, oh, well, what's Sony coming out with next? And then they're
Right.
like, oh, well, this month there's a rumor that this is going to come out and this is going to come out. And I think, talking to somebody or seeing stuff online, it was kind of the same thing. Like if you keep waiting for, what's coming, it's not necessarily going to be better. It's maybe newer, but it's
Right.
not, exactly what you need. And that was kind of cool to hear
a-
an analogy with
It's a
the
cool way
car
of
there.
describing it. There, it's newer.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks newer is better, and
Yeah.
going back to my career on the tour, there's a lot of pros that are not happy about having to switch to the new equipment because the old equipment made them a lot of money. So it was newer, and maybe according to the engineers, it was better on the computer and the launch monitor. But in reality, there's a lot more to it. There's always an art to everything.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's what I do for a living. I'm not an engineer.
Yep.
Obviously, things have to function well, but even though it's exciting to read about it, and like I'm not personally, I know Steven is. I'm not interested in the X, but it's
Yeah.
still exciting. It's great for the brand.
Yeah. It's cool to
one
see.
one step forward there.
Yep.
Part of it's a pride thing, maybe being a Corvette owner and into Corvettes that against the Europeans, look what we have coming there,
Yeah,
and
yep.
we can do it for a heck of a lot less of money, and so that's cool to be part of that kind of group. Say we're just as good.
Yeah. 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 So you said you're thinking of getting one of the X's, the zero
Well, I mean,
X's.
I do like the all-wheel
Okay.
drive. I know it's an interesting topic out there in the Corvette world, right?
Yep.
Costs more
We were
money.
talking earlier. I
It's-
mean, when we were at the museum, it's like the C6 CR1 was there. We all kind of said, "I want that one."
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
for
Blue
sure.
Devil.
Yeah.
Something about it, man.
So if the stars align, then great. If not, I'm going to enjoy the car I have.
Like I say,
Feel
yeah.
very fortunate to have it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, so I guess looking back, what are some of your favorite memories or ones that stand out that you've made with the cars or from events or picking them up? What would have been kind of some of your favorite memories or ones that stick out to you?
With the Corvettes or just cars in general, or
I guess with the Corvettes. Let's start
Yeah.
with that.
I really enjoy the bash. To be honest with you, I think that's kind
Okay.
of look forward to that every year.
Yeah. Yep.
I've said it probably 10 times since I've been here. There's not a lot of places that allow you to experience the car in the way you guys allow us to experience the car. Whether it's trailing our cars with you all the way to the bash and having our cars in your booth, being part of it. And I mean, heck, I'm there talking to customers like I know something.
Especially when
I mean,
I
we,
was
we-
gonna say,
yeah,
we all
yeah,
got
yeah.
the-
I know,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
We
right.
qualify it
Right,
first. Like, I
yes.
only know this much, and that's it, right?
Let me go grab somebody else.
But I
for
mean,
you.
there's not a lot of companies that would allow you to enjoy it in that way, right?
Yeah.
Most places, you might talk on the phone, you email back and forth, you figure out your build or whatever you want done, big or
Yeah.
small. You drop the car off. They have it for longer than they say they're going to have it.
Yep.
You only hear from them if there's issues or concerns potentially, and then it's time to come to the car. And it goes back to talking about earlier about part of enjoying the process. So,
Yep.
hands down, my favorite part about owning a Corvette is the relationship with you guys and the experience that you allow us to have, time spent. I mean, it's a win-win. I love win-wins, right? I'm
Yeah.
not a one-way guy.
Yep.
I like to, whether it's family, friends, business, any of those things, right? I like to have a win-win. I feel like the relationship we have with you guys is a win-win.
Yep.
People always ask me all the time, "Oh, you must get everything for free, blah blah blah." I'm like, "No, I'm a paying customer," and
Yeah,
they just look
yeah.
at you like you have six heads. It's like, well, why wouldn't I?
We're not influencers, so we
Yeah,
You're
yeah. You know what? Like, so for me, it's hands down the experience that you guys provide to us. Yes, the car shows are great. The drives through the tail of the dragon, all those things are fantastic. Some people go to Disneyland. I go to Paragon.
Yeah. Oh no, we appreciated that. That means a lot. And how about yourself? Favorite memory with the cars that stick out?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them have been of recent time. Obviously, really involved you guys talking about the graciousness of hosting us. Basically, it's coming in for an hour or a day. It's we joked that would be the first people to ever vacation here at Paragon Performance.
Yeah.
And they think I'm crazy when I'm like this. I've been looking forward to this, before the allocations even came. But going back to like my parents' delivery there,
Yes.
you guys
Yep.
talked to Corey and said, here's my idea, and like no hesitation, he's like, absolutely,
Yeah.
we'll make it happen. How nice he was, and how nice everybody was that whole number of days there. And same thing this week, being able to talk to everybody. Nobody's kind of been like, oh, these guys again or anything. It's kind of the opposite, I mean, they're like, they're just, everybody works well together here. They're happy to be here, and
Definitely.
and happy that we're here. And I feel that real sincerity that they're thrilled that we're going to discuss all the technicalities and stuff and helping us kind of create our visions. And it's just, go on and on. But you really can't describe how great it's been. And so those memories here with the car, I've had a lot of them, back to getting engaged in our wedding and things of that nature. But yeah, the ones of late there, you guys have been a huge instrumental part of, and I couldn't thank everybody enough.
Yeah, no, well, we appreciate you guys coming back, with all the different cars and stuff like that. And I think that kind of answered. I was going to ask, like why Paragon Performance? Why would you guys come take a week out of your guys' schedule, out of your busy lives to come, hang out here at the shop? And I think you kind of answered that. But if you just want to touch on that one more time, it's just the relationship, I guess.
Yeah,
you
I mean, I
guys.
think you guys take pride in what you do, right? I mean, you run a
Absolutely.
business, and sometimes you have to make tough decisions, and sometimes those decisions customers don't like, and
Mhm.
it's really hard to please everybody, right? Including Michael and I sometimes, right? We're customers,
Yes.
and it is,
Yes.
right? But But you guys care. You care about your clients. You care about your customers. You care about us. You care about the products that you put out, quality of them, the testing that you do. You know, I read. I'm not a big comment guy on social media. I'm not really a big social media guy in general. This is probably my extensive social media every year, and it's back to that win-win. I do it because of the relationship with you guys, and it's fun. Don't get me wrong, but um, so it's just more of what I was talking about earlier. Honestly, overall whole experience of coming here. You have a great facility. I know you guys joke about Iowa sometimes, but I'm a small town guy. Really, I don't.
Yep.
Not really a city guy. I don't need a lot, to be honest with you. And the area here, it feels like home. You know, you got the Waukee area has grown a lot. You can tell it's all
Yes.
brand new.
Yep.
And you know, like I said, the facility's fantastic, like that. I mean, I can pick up a screw gun and take something off my own car if I want. So for me, that was
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say it has been funny the last day or two to see you guys run around the warehouse, you know, grabbing grabbing the
that's
parts,
shocking.
going through.
You guys need carts.
Yes,
You
yeah,
literally need
yeah,
shopping
yeah.
carts. Like,
You guys
What's
come
on
out
aisle
testing
5
stuff.
here?
yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's certainly grown a lot. You know, even in the 3 years that I've guys,
Yeah.
when I first started coming here, you had, you know, a few little racks in the back.
Yeah,
you
just
know.
the two back
Yeah,
there. I think when
really,
you
and,
first
you know,
started,
the rest of
yes.
the warehouse.
Now
was-
the whole warehouse is
yeah.
Yep.
So it's great to see you guys' growth, both in terms of the stock that you carry, but the people as well. There's certainly a lot more people who work here than started doing business with you guys, and
Yep.
you know, friendships. I mean, I can text and call you at any time about this or that. I mean, Corey was at my wedding last year, and
Yep.
Caitlin, his wife, and it's second to none. I know I keep saying it, but I truly.
Yeah. No, we appreciate you guys. It's you know, rare to find, you know, cool customers like that. Although all of our customers are very cool and we appreciate them, but it's like, you know, not everybody's coming in. You're crazy enough to spend a week here and, you know, go through 21 different cars and, you know, have us be a part of, you know, a big surprise like that with your parents. I think everyone here, that was definitely something that touched everyone. And, you know, we all certainly enjoyed being a part of that. But just kind of the same goes for you guys. We appreciate you guys coming back, and for just me personally, you know, letting, you know, me hang out with you guys. You guys always seem to give me advice and stuff like that, and you guys kind of are mentors to me. You know, y'all got the big ZR1s, and it's kind of nice, the advice and stuff that you give and mentorship and
Man, you
stuff
make
like
me
that.
feel old with the mentor word, right? You know?
It's oh man, no. So we appreciate it. We really do. But I think, is there anything else that you guys had on your mind you wanted to talk about, or anything?
Just thanks again. You know, I don't think we mentioned him by name, but Jeremy, the owner here. You know,
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
and
Graham.
obviously Graham goes down the list. Alex, Pat, you know, everybody.
Yeah. Yep.
Just thanks again for having us. Thanks for having us on the podcast. Here.
Yes. Yeah.
Cool
thanks
experience.
for-
It'll be cool to watch. And,
Yes. Yep.
and I look forward to you know, getting the builds finished there and getting driving some more there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Michael couldn't have said it better, honestly. Look forward to the next couple of days, and again, couldn't be more appreciative of everything you do for us and everything you do for the Corvette community. You guys do a lot to help us live out our dreams and our passions, and you guys are just as passionate about it, and it comes through with the products you choose to sell and create and things like that. So
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much. We appreciate you, and we appreciate you being here on the podcast, taking the time out of your day to do that. So, yeah, thank you guys for that. And thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to let me know by leaving a like down below, comment, and subscribe. As always, we'll see you in the next podcast.